About gravimetric analysis. It is a quantitative method based on determining the mass of a pure solid or precipitate. There are 4 principles in this analysis. The first one is to identify the insoluble form of analyte. Second is to separate analyte from any constituents that may interfere. Then, wash the precipitate and dry. Lastly, convert the precipitate to a reliable weighting form. Gravimetric analysis is used to determine inorganic and ion, cation, neutral species such as carbon dioxide, and also organic samples such as lactose in milk. Some of the advantages are no calibration needed and the equipment is inexpensive. However, the disadvantage of gravimetric analysis is there will be error in analysis, for example, the formation of colloid. Besides, it requires long experimental hours. There are 2 types of analysis, which are precipitation and volatilization.
Now, I will talk about precipitation. So, what is precipitation? Precipitation is the process by which solid phase forms is carried out of solution when the solubility product of a chemical species is exceeded. During precipitation, the analyte is converted to a sparingly soluble precipitate. Sparingly soluble means low solubility or insoluble. Then, the precipitate was filtered and washed free of impurities. Next, the precipitate is converted to a product of known composition by suitable heat treatment such as an oven. Lastly, the product is weighed. The substance used to react and form the precipitate is known as the precipitating agent. What is precipitating agent? Precipitating agent is a compound that converts a completely soluble ion into a slightly insoluble compound after its addition. There are 4 criteria of precipitating agent. The first one is selective precipitating agent, convert soluble into insoluble, organic precipitating agent, reproducible stoichiometry. The example of precipitating agents are calcium oxide, calcium hydroxide, and sodium hydroxide.
What is casein? Casein protein is a protein found in meat that gives meat its white color. Cow's meat consists of around 18% casein protein. Other than that, casein protein can be found in yogurt, cheese, and infant formulas, as well as in a variety of dairy supplements.
Next, we will move to the methodology. So, the materials needed for this experiment is 100 ml of milk, 10% of acetic acid, water, about 25 ml of ethanol and diethyl ether, petri plate, glass rod, muslin cloth, filter paper, 500 ml of beaker, dropper, and also spatula. Next, we will move to the procedure. First of all, weigh the mass of the empty beaker. Measured 100 ml of milk and weigh in a 500 ml beaker. Heat the milk to around 50 degrees Celsius to ensure that it is warm. Using a spatula, remove the floating cream from the milk surface after heating. After removing the cream, add 10% of acetic acid to the milk. drop by drop with a dropper. Then stir the solution with a glass rod to ensure that the acetic acid is thoroughly mixed with the milk. If the casein has not yet precipitated, keep dropping the acetic acid into the milk and stir with a glass rod. If the casein has completely precipitated, allow it to cool for 5 minutes at room temperature. Using a muslin cloth, filter the precipitate. Wash the precipitate with water for several times. Next, weigh the filter paper and filter the precipitate. Pour the precipitate into a 50 ml combination of diethyl ether and ethanol. Weigh the filter paper and filter the precipitate for a final time. Allow the solvent to be completely removed from the casein before waving it. As for the result, place the casein protein in a petri dish and let it aside to dry.
A few moments later.
Then, weigh the dried casein protein and calculate the percentage of casein in milk.
Alright guys, now we have come to the result and the calculation for the percentage mass of casein. As you can see here are the results that we obtained through the gravimetric method that we used as we mentioned before. Therefore, based on the result, we can now calculate the percentage mass of casein in milk. We can use this formula to calculate the percentage mass of casein, which is the weight of casein is divided by the weight of milk and multiplied by 100%. So, 1.8710 gram divided by 50.0260 gram multiplied by 100% is equal to 3.74%. Thus, it is found out that 100 ml of milk contain 3.74% of casein.
In conclusions, gravimetric analysis is a class of lab technique used to determine the mass of concentration of substance by measuring a change in mass. The chemical we're trying to quantify is sometimes called analyte. In this video, we weigh and calculate the percentage of casein in milk. Precipitation reaction occurs when cations and anions in aqueous solution combines to form insoluble ionic solid.
That's all